from Joe Biden, who did a spectacular 11-minute speech. Spectacular. Why? Because it was 11 minutes, and we could almost hear it.
This could all go horribly wrong at any minute.
Hello there, and welcome to the 184th edition of Lewis Black's Rantcast, entitled JD stands for just dumb. That's right. But before we get to the esteemed vice presidential candidate for the Republicans, I just want to say that I'm wearing this in honor of the West Bank Café. It's been its logo for 46 years. 46 years. Kind of show, but let me just stamp that out. 1, 2, 3, 46 years. That's been its logo, created by a great artist and a great friend, Tom Slaughter, whose work is in, and I believe this is in, the Museum of Modern Art. The West Bank is going to close the way it's going, and it is in many ways been the heart and soul of my life since I walked in there a number of years ago, and as a playwright and left as a comic. A long and strange story that was quite wonderful and filled with some of the finest talent that I've ever, just extraordinary talent, graced the stage we had downstairs. And I had the joy of working with Steve Olson, who owned it. That back then they had a dessert cart. I can go on for hours. My friend Rusty McGee was the musical director. My friend Rand Forrester was the artistic director. He's the one who had the idea of doing a theater down there, 100 seats. We would call it a cabaret, is what they would call it. I've never really been fond of that word. I like to call it a theater with a bar. We call it a theater bar, the West Bank Café downstairs theater bar. And 46 years, a tremendous run. I will talk about it more in the coming weeks because it was really, it's so very close to my heart and still is. It was a life changer for me, and it was a safe space, as they like to say. Safe in the sense of my friends were there and the creativity that was there and the incredible conversations and it's incredible how much of my life until I went on the road as a comic was tied up in that room. But that's for later. Hello there, and I know you thought the day would never come, but it's just around the corner now. That's right. I'll be back out on the road August 9th, August 10th at the Hilarities Comedy Club in Cleveland, Ohio. 2 shows each night. And then on September 5th and September 6th, September 5th, I will be at the Riviera Theater in Buffalo, September 6th, in Jamestown, New York, at the Reg Linné Center. And go to my website. It'll give you all the info that you need at lewisblack.com. Join me. It's really going to be a lot of fun because I haven't had a chance to talk to people in a while. I've been trapped here in this tiny little public access studio that I've created for myself. I'm just bouncing off the walls, and I'm going to be bouncing toward you. See you soon. In Rantcast 181, I read an extended rant, the only rant I read that week, by Gregory Douglas, a Marine Corps vet. I thought it was an important rant. I thought it spoke to a lot of the problems that veterans have to deal with. A Marine Corps vet who'd been through hell and back after really, 7 months of service and has been suffering ever since. And it took an enormous amount of courage, I think, to write in that rant. And I'm glad that I read it. The outpouring to help him has been remarkable, and I deeply appreciate that. We've established a GoFundMe page for him, and There'll be, I think, either on this page or somewhere shortly, if you're interested in helping him out and to hear the rant, you can go there. I want to thank Matt Kleinschmidt, and Julie Glathorn. Matt helps put together this insanity I do each week, and Julie is my assistant, and they've done a great job in terms of trying to get all this information out to him, and I hope it's been of a help for him. And once again, I can't thank you all enough for your generosity and for really trying to help direct him to a number of places he might find help. Truly appreciate it. But let's get on to really what is directly affecting all of us at this point, this election, and the nominee, J.D. Vance, or Just Dumb. That's what it stands for. Just Dumb Vance. I'm beginning to believe that the stuff on his face, it's not a beard, it's actually his brain. It's exposed to the air. What is ever up here, where the brain should be, is actually hair, and I will change that opinion if at some point he comes up with something and I go, wow, no, I was wrong. He really is insightful. If at some point he can say something about what he would like to do, what his agenda would be, what he would like to see done, rather than going, boy, that's really tough. And what I'm referring to, of course, is the thing that's been pounded away in memes and GIFs and whatever the fuck else. And Senator J.D. Vance this week, the Republican nominee for the vice president, unbelievable, is doubling down on the remarks he made in 2021 about childless cat ladies running the country that sparked backlash this week. He told Megyn Kelly in an interview that aired Friday, obviously it was a sarcastic comment. I've got nothing against cats. Not only is he dumb, his sense of humor is staggering. God damn it, he's got nothing against cats. That's supposed to prick this nonsense and the blown up balloon of bullshit. And we go, whoa, yeah. No, he was just kidding. No, he's not kidding. It's ludicrous. And then he blamed the media for focusing so much on the sarcasm and not on the substance of what I actually said. What she did say was the front runner for the Democratic presidential nomination, who's now the front runner, that he was referring to her, Vice President Kamala Harris, as one of the childless cat ladies running the nation who want to make the rest of the country miserable too. If you look at her and Pete Buttigieg, AOC, the entire future of the Democrats is controlled by people without children. Pete Buttigieg has children. Kamala has children. I don't think AOC has children. I don't have children. My friend Kathleen Madigan doesn't have children. She's got cats. Oh, boy. And she'd be, a much better vice presidential candidate than J.D. Vance, who obviously, literally, in 2021, okay, he switches from thinking that Donald Trump is a threat and he would never back him to backing him, and then turns around and this is his contribution to political discourse. It's the cat ladies who are ruining the country, who don't have children, and yet they do have children. And people adopt children all the time. And he says, I just can't get over that. And they're not making us. I'll tell you what would make me miserable. If I was supposed to I have no children, and I was told that I had to have cats. All right? That would make me miserable. That would really bother me. I've been around Siamese cats that ruined any notion I had of wanting cats around. I like cats that act like dogs. All right? That's simple. That's the deal. And this idiot just is beyond belief. It's not a criticism of people who don't have children, but you just accuse these people who have children of not having children. This is about criticizing the Democratic Party for becoming anti-family and anti-child. Okay, look, I'm sorry to tell you, but they voted for they did everything they could to get this child tax credit in order. All right, nobody on either side of the aisle is anti-family, so stop it. All right, if we disagree about what a child should read, okay, there are educators who will guide us as to what the child should read, and and the family will listen to that. I just think there has to be some intelligence that's brought to bear here, and he's not bringing it. Okay, I need to know what they want. I can't listen to this anymore. If you out there think that both the Republican nominees, Donald Trump and just dumb, I'm sorry that they have some sort of a platform. What am I missing? Don't tell me 2025. Or if you do think it's 2025, explain what it is that they are running on. Tell me what they're running on, other than pointing fingers and telling me that the other side, that Kamala Harris is a radical left-wing psychotic nut job, and that she's a diversity hire. She was an attorney general. She was a senator. Okay? Not radical. Are you shitting me? She was an attorney general. Get it off you fucking. Just start talking about what you want to do when you're the president of the United States. And don't change it every 2 weeks. I like electric cars. I don't electric cars. I want there to be no abortions, but I think there should be abortions. I like the pill. I don't like the pill. Like, Jesus Christ. Just tell us what you want to do. And if you're shocked that she's doing well, here's part of the reason she's doing well. She's saying what she wants to do. All right? That's what makes her different than anybody running at this point. And it makes her different from Joe Biden, who did a spectacular 11-minute speech. Spectacular. Why? Because it was 11 minutes. And we could almost hear it. All right? But we can hear her. And that's the big step. That's the thing you got to deal with. People hear her. All right? And when you keep rattling on and on and on and on, at your rallies, you come up with something other than, boy, look what's happening here. We're getting screwed there and we're getting fucked here. All right? And I got bent over there. All righty? Please, just tell us. That's enough of this. I don't want to go. The Olympics is on. That always, as a kid, was really much more than it is now to me. But there are things that I will watch. I did watch the opening ceremonies. Why? And because I love Paris. I have a very, very soft spot for Paris. My brother lived there for 5 years. I was lucky enough to spend some time there with him and some time on my own. And it's just one of the most. It's just a lovely, graceful city. If a city was a ballerina, it would be Paris. Or if a ballerina was a city, that's what I mean. It would be Paris. It's always, So I actually enjoyed a lot of that opening ceremony. A lot of it was completely nuts. I'm sorry I missed the drag queen Last Supper. That really upset some people. Boy, oh boy, what a terrible thing that was. Oh boy. It's just awful. Really, it really destroyed the fabric of all of the world. It's really. I don't think Jesus. I don't think it would bother him. Okay, so it shouldn't bother you. It's the way some people express themselves. I really am sorry I missed it. There's some things that were very odd, and there were things that were just like, wow, this is stunning. But I got to see a lot of Paris, and that made me very happy. I have also had a very, very good friend there. So because of my brother and her, I have that soft spot. And if you go to Paris and you have trouble with it, then you're an idiot. Okay. If you realize that if you can sit there and have your coffee, your espresso, your latte, your cappuccino, and a croissant with staggeringly good butter, okay? Kathleen would say the Irish butter is better, but really their butter, they lather every piece of food they can get in their hands on with butter. My brother lost weight there. All right. I mean, eating like a little pig. The wine was always exceptional. If you go there and you had trouble with it, okay, and I have nothing to say to you. But I really enjoyed it, and I kept wondering, is it because I'm growing older? And I don't think so. It was really just exceptional to see the Eiffel Tower and those lights and the lift off of that insane balloon at the end, and they lit. That's the way they lit the torch. I mean, okay. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you didn't. I'm sure it made a lot of you crazy, and it was long. And I did not. I watched it in sections and would fast forward through the things I couldn't handle. Just when no, I'm not sitting here for that. I've got a few things to read, and then we're done with this because enough is fucking enough. This, of course, was last week. The gay male dating app Grindr crashed last week, reportedly because of a sudden surge in traffic in Milwaukee during the Republican National Convention. And then you got to love a party that's occurring in, and who can't handle, the rights of gays, or and their expression, and LGBTQ folks. It's amazing. And Grindr crashes because they all got away from their wives, and boom. So they went nuts. And then in response, just come out of the closet, boys, said former GOP Representative George Santos. It's fun. That's the first intellectual thing that George Santos has said. Truly honest, truly smart, and incredible it came from him. Okay? You Republicans are so stupid when it comes to this that you have to be your spokesman on this is George Santos. Whew, you guys, get a grip, huh? We have moved on, all right? We have moved on. And if it would really help if you would just clean up your act when it comes to this and just admit, a lot of you obviously have to, that you're gay, and you could probably get more votes. Okay, just saying. And meanwhile, in those who are living in the next century, Senator Gary Peters, the Democrat from Michigan, introduced a bill that would bar federal agencies from disqualifying job applicants because of marijuana use. It is titled "The Dismantling Outdated Obstacles and Barriers to Individual Employment Act," or the Doobie Act. Wow, that's good. You got to love that. And I hope you enjoy the rants that I'll be reading today. Folks out there, please start getting them in. I'm running a little low on them, and I've got some that are older, and I'll go back through those as the weeks progress. But the stuff that's happening now, get it out there. I'm going to be in Cleveland and in Buffalo and in Jamestown. So for those of you in that area, get them in, because each night I will read one rant, and we'll get it out there if we can. But and if not, but we will. We may not be able to get it out there, but we'll certainly get it read. Okay. And I look forward to reading all your rants. It was really a pleasure reading the ones this week. It is really a privilege and a pleasure to do this, even in my tiny public access studio. I know that many of you are probably thinking, but doesn't he need a better background? I don't really know. I've seen hundreds of backgrounds, and none of them seem that much more spectacular. But maybe I'm wrong. Make some suggestions. Maybe I'll put the Eiffel Tower up behind me. just the bottom of it. You can, or the Rockies, or the what the fuck ever. It's time to go. Time to go. Say goodnight, Lewis. Good night, Lewis. Garret Cheney has something to say about the language we speak. Vocal inflection is part of our being able to communicate in our already confusing language that we call English. Simple example, someone tells you, I had a nice day. But with improper inflection comes out sounding like, I had a nice day? We've all heard this many times. It's like fucking fingernails on a blackboard. Are you asking me if you had a nice day or telling me? In the Mandarin language, there are 4 different ways of using the word ma, depending on how you voice it. It can mean mother, horse, fabric, or a reprimand. We can't even fucking get the difference between a question or a statement. I agree with William S. Burroughs. Language is a virus from outer space. Learn Esperanto, fuckers. Garret Cheney speaking to us from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've never heard that. I had a nice day. Wow. I wonder if that's just a Pittsburgh thing. And I'm glad you took the time out to share that with us, Garret. Thank you. Paul Barnes, here's something. Bringing back Cornhole. Cornhole, if you would like to see Chief Justice Roberts' Cornhole board with the seal of the Supreme Court of the United States, I will be glad to send it for your viewing pleasure. Roberts is unfortunately my next door neighbor on Hooper Island, Port Clyde, Maine. Many rants past due. Does that mean, did you make the board? Does he really? He doesn't have a, does he? I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. A Cornhole board with the seal of the Supreme Court on it. Wow. Wow, Paul. If there, I would like to see it. Have you got a picture of that? Kristen Diane Pollack wants to rant, and I don't blame her. She's pissed and needs to tell us. I write this on a federal holiday. Here goes. What the fuck is holiday pay? What the fuck is double time? Companies give you 8 hours of regular pay and then time and a half on top of it. And you idiots, that's double time? No, it's not. The rich bastards and corporate executive bucks are making it seem that way, all the while they're sitting on their fat asses at home, not giving a shit about what you have to do just to survive. Fuck the double time myth, and fuck you too if you believe it. Holiday pay my ass. It is nothing more than your overtime rate. And if they can pay that for holiday pay, then they can pay you that for regular fucking pay. Fuck you 1%ers. Fuck you accountants. And also, fuck you government officials who are too lazy to get people who are well educated, good office jobs that are actually Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 positions. There's a few rants in there, Kristen, I think. Wow. Companies give you 8 hours or regular pay, and then time and a half on top of it. And you idiots, you call that double time. Wow. Okay, Kristen. He took that and went down the field with it, and I don't blame you. If you can pay for the, you can pay that. You can, if you can pay the double time, then go ahead and pay people double time for what they do. Our ranter wants to remain anonymous, and I will respect those wishes. Ranting at reality TV, destroying real life. But please leave my name out of any public reading of this rant. Telling the truth has become too dangerous, and I think this is about a really ugly truth. But maybe you can explain the missing bits I can't figure out. You ain't much older, but I think you're much wiser. Well, I'm not sure anymore. Really? It just takes me longer to figure stuff out. Maybe that's wisdom, but I don't think so. The real point is how experience in reality TV applies to political campaigning. I mean, that's how Donald creates his fake reality. For reality TV, they create fake situations packed with real emotions. And then when someone snaps and does something crazy, the star has to make the right play to the right camera. Like when Donald told the Secret Service to wait so he could chant fight, fight at the camera. I don't know if you're saying that that was a fake situation. I'm not sure it was. I don't think so. At the beginning, before I heard all the news, when I first saw it, I thought, wow. And then as the information unfolded, no. So I hope that's not what you meant. I haven't watched any, but I'm sure before I go on that we'll be hearing about it from some folks. But I wanted to kind of get them onto the off ramp before we started hearing anything about it. And you can write in and let me know. I haven't watched any reality TV that I can recollect. The stink of fakeness repels me in seconds. But I think I saw the beginnings of reality TV. My military service led to work as a security guard, and I was sometimes assigned to work at the wrestling matches. In the service, I learned about real killing, though I was lucky and earned my honorable without ever experiencing combat. But the wrestling is not real. It's completely fake, but the emotions were real. And we guards had to work hard to keep the fans from throwing beer on this week's bad guys. I never watched the TV versions made from the fights I watched. I can't even remember looking at the ring. Mostly, I remember watching the fans near the entrance route for the wrestlers. But what I've heard about The Apprentice was that they would film about 30 hours of stuff to get a couple of minutes that made Trump look as good as possible. But it was all fake, and Trump's tour in the White House proved he has no real competence. That and the bankruptcies and the thousands of lawsuits and the convictions so far, and the rest of this stuff he would have been convicted for if America's legal system wasn't also fake now. When I was in the service, I think all my instructors had done tours in Nam where the fighting and killing was real. I already said how lucky I was to have missed that shit show. As noted, please leave my name out of it. It's left out. And if you need a handle, I guess you could use my main nickname when I was doing my hitch, Garbage Gut, because I like sea rations too much. But I've ran it before, and you've never found anything useful. There are a couple of things you said that could have been indirect references to my rants. Well, I'm sure, because generally some of the rants that I've done and some of the things that I say are things that we all cross the same thing. They're all things that we think of. And I really appreciate that one. I'm not sure about the 30 hours of stuff to get a couple of good minutes, but that I certainly would, if it's the truth. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if it were the truth. But thank you. Thanks again. From Donald Hollingsworth, I believe this is really in response to Greg's rant that we heard a few weeks ago on, I believe, Rantcast 181, if my memory serves me correctly. So thank you, Donald. I also served in the Marine Corps at the same time. The whole job of the VA is to fuck veterans. I also found after I was discharged that employers fuck over Marine Corps veterans. That is, if you can even get a job interview. Once employers see you are a Marine Corps veteran, your resume goes right into the fucking trash can. I thought it was my duty and honor to serve this country, but this country has no honor in the way they treat veterans, and especially treat Marine Corps veterans just like fucking redheaded stepchildren. We're the only first world country which treats their veterans worse than most fucking third world countries. Before I enlisted in the Marine Corps, my mother's uncle only said one thing to me about his service in World War II. It's easy to kill a man who is trying to kill you, but you have to live with that for the rest of your life. When I was discharged, I finally knew what he meant. The fucking Congress and the fucking president are more than willing to send us off to war, but don't want to deal with the aftermath. No, they don't, Donald, from all of the things that I've read and seen and heard from the military, for those of you who have served. And that just sucks. I'm just tired of it. And we have the money to do it. God knows we have a defense budget that is staggering. And they can't parcel and take a bit of that aside, huh? Fuck. Fuckity fuck. Thanks. Casey Slayton has this to share with us. Dear Lewis, I did it. I've done the impossible. I have found a place that does not have potholes in its roads. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. After listening to the Rantcast and hearing people complain about potholes, it occurred to me that where I live in Gettysburg, I have never had a single pothole. Instead of being fucked over by our local government for road maintenance and care, we're fucked by the parking authority that the town is contracted to. I live here locally in it, and it aggravates me nonstop. I'm a fucking local to this town. Why the hell should I have to pay for every damn tourist parking spot? Don't my taxes pay for this shit? For 10 minutes, it costs you a fucking quarter. What doesn't help is that there's different prices for where you fucking park. 10 minutes is a dime here, a quarter, it's 10 minutes there. It's like they couldn't make up their fucking minds on price points. What's worse is the ticket prices they give you. You were late by a few minutes. That'll be $100 fucking dollars. The town's already a fucking tourist trap. What's the point of going into town when you're going to be bent over and fucked by the parking authority? So, Lou, I wanted to ask your thoughts. Is having no potholes worth being fucked over by the parking authority? Well, if it's fixing the potholes, I mean, it's one way to pay for it. And they should have a way in which you've got a thing that says on your license that you're a member of the community, so you don't have to pay the fucking $10 a fucking whatever. That's ridiculous. I mean, that is. And they can't figure out a price point. Thank you, Casey Slayton. I appreciate it. I appreciate the time you put into that, and the fact that you're the only place without potholes. And it's the man. I was in Gettysburg. It's idyllic, and it's like, and then I spent 3 days during the pandemic wandering through Gettysburg. I figured if I went somewhere where historically things seem to be worse than they were at this point in time, it would make me feel better. That was a big mistake. It just made me feel worse about what happened then because I didn't know the whole story. And now that I do, it kept me up nights for a bit. Thanks again. Thanks to all of you for listening to my Rantcast. If you have a rant you want to get off your chest, send it in to me at lewisblack.com/live. You can think of it as therapy or whatever you want to think of it as. Just let it rip. And I want to thank the true stars of our show, the ranters, and the splendid rants they gave us. Lewis Black's Rantcast was created and hosted by me, Lewis Black. Our live rant audio was produced by James Salter. Our theme song by Chris Lane. Executive producer, Ben Brewer. Executive producers, Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly.